Most of us remember September 11, 2001, for the attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. But that very same day, a 35-year-old mother of four disappeared in central New York State. She was never seen again. That mystery is the focus of tonight's special 48 Hours. Erin Moriarty has covered this case for 7 years, and for the first time, she is talking with the suspect.
I feel like I'm being kidnapped in broad daylight, in front of my kids, in front of everyone, and no one can do anything about it.
13 years after Michelle Harris vanished, her husband Cal Harris is doing something he has never done, not after he was charged and convicted of her murder twice, not after both guilty verdicts were overturned. But now, as he faces a third trial, Harris has agreed to his first interview. What has that been like for the last 13 years?
It's been horrible. It's been a nightmare. I've been ripped away from my kids 3 times now.
Cal Harris, out on bail for the past year and a half, says he is the victim of overzealous prosecutors who have focused on him despite lack of substantial evidence. But Michelle's sister-in-law disagrees.
24 people totally agreed that he was guilty. You cannot get 2 people to agree on what color your hair is.
A wealthy car dealer in Owego, New York, Harris admits that he and Michelle, his wife of 10 years, were in the middle of a contentious divorce when she suddenly disappeared sometime on the night of September 11, 2001. Her minivan was found at the bottom of the family's driveway. Investigators immediately focused on Harris as a suspect, as did Michelle's friends and family.
The minute I got the phone call that she didn't come home, I knew he did something to her.
But while there is much suspicion, there is little evidence. Her body was never found, although a small amount of her blood was in the family's kitchen doorway, on a throw rug, and in the garage. That helped convince 2 juries to convict Harris for the murder of his wife.
We're going through this a 3rd time because he has the financial means to hire law firms and find some technicality. If it was anybody else, he wouldn't have to do this a 3rd time.
As I have stated before from day one, I did not have any involvement in Michelle's disappearance. I would never hurt the mother of my children.
Earlier this year, Harris and his 4 children made a public appeal for information.
We need to know what really happened to our mother.
We want people to know that our dad didn't do it, and we want to find out who actually did it.
Yeah, I just don't like knowing that the fact that we could lose him again, and just, I want him here with me.
My kids need closure. You know, before I leave this earth, I need my kids to know that I had nothing to do with their mother's disappearance.
Erin Moriarty is here. Why do you think he finally agreed to talk to you? And what was it like sitting down with him face to face?
Well, I had been so anxious to meet him. Both my producer, Lisa Fried, and I have been covering this for 7 years. We've sat through 2 trials. He's never, ever spoken. And he was portrayed in a very, very negative light. So we were surprised to find out how engaging he is, even charming. But we were also very frustrated because he and his attorney decided that we would be limited in our questioning. So the really important things I wanted to ask, I wasn't allowed to ask.
How unusual is it for someone to be convicted twice and then turned over on appeal? I mean, this is the 3rd trial, right?
It's very unusual. It really is, and I think it shows a lot of how important it is to have money. You know, money doesn't buy you justice, but in fact, you need really good attorneys, not only at the trial, but at the appellate level. That's why, I mean, his first conviction was overturned right away. The second one, 3.5. But you've seen these other cases we've covered, 16 years, 20 years. He had good attorneys, and he had the financial means to afford them.
Thank you.
Got my attention. I'll be watching. Thank you, Erin.